Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Majority Leader Cannizzaro, Chairman Yeager, members of the Senate and Assembly Committee on Judiciary. I'm Assemblywoman Sandra Jauregui, and I proudly represent Assembly District 41 in our great state of Nevada. I've always been an advocate for gun safety. I supported the Background Checks Initiative in 2016 and have always supported sensible reform to put an end to gun violence and the meaningless tragedies that come with it. Before I turn the presentation over to Chelsea Parsons with the Center for American Progress, and then to Mike McLively with the Giffords Law Center, and finally to Mr. Todd Slamberg with Sunrise Hospital, I would like to share my own personal story of gun violence and why I'm bringing this bill forward. I want to make sure that no person or family member ever has to live through and face another mass shooting again. What most people don't know is that after the 1 October shooting, I actually became more silent on the issue. I was terrified of sharing my story. I wanted to forget it ever happened and to never have to relive a single moment of it again. But after the shooting at Parkland, I knew I couldn't stay quiet. I was so infuriated and angry that children had to face something so awful that me, a grown adult, could barely deal with. I knew it was my responsibility, given my unique position as a legislator, to do everything I can to make Nevada a safer place. This isn't an anti-gun bill. I'm not an anti-gun legislator, and this isn't a partisan issue. I'm married to a Republican, and we own guns, and we believe that better gun laws make us better gun owners. The story I'm going to share isn't unique or new. We've heard from many survivors earlier this year, including myself. But no matter how many times we share our story, you will never truly know the impact it has on us and those who love us. It's traumatic for everyone. My friends and family dealt with their own trauma. After I refused to speak to anyone in the aftermath of 1 October, my parents, siblings, and best friends had no idea how I was doing. They had some communication with my husband, texted him to make sure I was okay, but I completely shut down. I later learned this caused them their own traumatic situation to deal with. It took a full week before I was able to finally communicate again with them, and so I wrote a letter to my family and friends and emailed it to all of them. Sharing this very personal letter is the best way I can share my story. October 6, 2017. I know all of you have been worried about me. I can't bring myself to verbally go over in detail what happened. I have been able to speak to a counselor about the different things I've been feeling. The counselor told me it would help to share my story. She said the more I could talk about it, the more desensitized I would be to it. I don't know if I'm ready to have this conversation with everyone, but I think it would help if you knew the story to understand why I've isolated myself. Maybe reach out to me tomorrow or Sunday. I know I'm getting better every day, and I try to do a little more of what would make me feel like myself, but I don't know if I will ever feel like myself again. We went to the concert to have a great time. We met up with my friend Paulina, her daughter, whose 21st birthday we were celebrating, and another friend at Mandalay Bay because they had a room there. We all walked over to the concert together, and everything was fine. Jason Aldean had been playing for like an hour, and so we knew the concert would probably end soon. Truman left to go get his drinks. He had been back for only a matter of seconds when the shots went off. We were right in the grassy area in front of the stage, center right of the stage. Me and the girls hit the ground. Truman stayed up because he thought they were fireworks. When he saw Jason Aldean run off the stage, he hit the ground and crawled on top of me to shield me. He whispered to me that we couldn't stay there, that he was going to count to 3, and we needed to get up and run. And so on the count of 3, we all got up and run. There were only 2 entrances and exits. And we tried to run back to the one where we came in from, but there were so many people, it had been shut down and we couldn't get out. So we had to run back in towards the bullets. Whenever the shots would start again, I would freeze and I couldn't move. And then I was screaming that I wasn't okay. My friends asked Truman what they should do, and he told them that they had to keep running, that they couldn't stay, and that he would stay and take care of me because I was hysterical. I ran to hide under the bleachers. He came and he shook me and told me we had to move. He said he knew I was scared, but we had to move. We ran, and every time shots went off, he just covered me and shielded me until we got to a fence that we had to get through and over. We ran until we got to the Tropicana and hid. Once he knew I was safe, he went to go help some people who had got shot, and then came back and said we had to keep moving, that we couldn't stay. We then ran to our next hotel. We ran to Hooters and stayed there for about an hour until we thought it was safe. And then we left and ran again. We ran until it was hard walk until someone pulled over and offered us a ride. I've been upset for a lot of reasons. I'm happy that my husband Truman was there with me. I'm upset that I was going to go without him if he didn't buy his own ticket. I'm upset that I thought I ran and I left my friends. I later learned Truman told them to keep going. But I initially thought I left my friend and her daughter, and I felt guilty about that. I'm sad that I couldn't do anything to help. And even the days after, I've been so paralyzed that I couldn't help. I feel lucky, but I also feel bad that we made it out okay. I don't feel like that. I don't feel like I could be happy or that I should be. I know that for every bullet that didn't hit us, it hit somebody else. I feel bad that if I could have taken care of myself, maybe Truman could have done more to help other people. It was so hard seeing people who were hurt and shot and knowing I couldn't do anything. And just seeing them and knowing it could have been us. Truman and I have been handling it very differently. He hasn't been able to sleep or eat, where I went into hibernation mode and was sleeping like 17 hours a day. I think it's my way of not thinking about it. He has been glued to the news, and the news just makes me more depressed and angry. I think he was dealing with lots of feelings of guilt too. I know I'm getting better every day, but I know I'm still feeling many feelings of sadness, anger, and guilt. But I promise I'm taking care of myself and Truman. I love you all very much, and I'm sorry I had to send this in writing. End of letter. It took me 8 days before I could have a verbal conversation with my parents. And I'm pretty sure that night's changed me forever. That maybe no matter how hard it is to share my story, I will do it as many times as it takes to help prevent any person or family from having to share my experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblywoman Jauregui. Ms. Parsons, are you up next?
I am, thank you.
Please go ahead.